sports.
Hot in the desert today, turning into night in downtown Phoenix. The Marlins and the Diamondbacks resume their series. Some Fish fans coming in. Hot in the desert, but not on the road. Certainly the Marlins have had their road woes. They try to solve them tonight and get the bats going. Matt Latos getting the ball for the Fish. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Tommy Hutton. Welcome to Arizona. Marlins have struggled on the road, Tommy, and scoring runs is number one the problem.
Rich, it's one of those things you never can put your finger on it, why a team struggles away from home. Yeah, the routine's a little different, but you have the same road routine.
The Marlins were hoping they could change their luck against the Diamondbacks, who swept them in 4 in South Florida. But last night, no different. The Diamondbacks have won all 5 games this year.
All you have to do is look at the numbers. They tell the story as far as pitching, as far as scoring runs, batting average. There have been a few close games. Of course, that first one was the 13-inning game. That was the first game with Dan Jennings taking over as the manager. But some close games, just unfortunate. Just haven't been able to come through as we saw last night. Haven't been able to come through with those key clutch base hits.
Marlins' strength of their ball club started the season outfield. 2/3 of it right now not playing. Marcell Ozuna in AAA, Giancarlo Stanton is hurt. But Ichiro has stepped in, and although he did go through a slump, suddenly is hot again.
He's 41. You'd never know it. And we got a great preview of Ichiro in spring training. And it's amazing. Since that slump of 0 for 29, he's hit over 400. Right now, Ichiro working on a 7-game hitting streak, but he has his work cut out for him. He's just 2 for 16 against Jeremy Hellickson.
Marlins turn to Matt Latos to make the start here tonight in Phoenix. For Latos, it's been an injury-filled year. In fact, an injury has kept him from pitching since the 7th of the month.
You know, he did face this Diamondbacks ball club in Miami. He didn't fare well, 7 hits and 6 runs in 5 1/3. But his last time out, he was absolutely tremendous against the Cubs. Gave up just 1 hit and a run. Unfortunately, he took the loss in that game. Here's a number to keep in mind, though. Here at Chase Field, Matt Latos is 3-0 with a 160 earned run average.
So Matt Latos getting ready for the Marlins. Jeremy Hellickson will be pitching for these Snakes. And when we get back, Jessica Blaylock will set up not only Late Night with the Fish, emails and tweets tonight, kids. Hang Equaled only by Tommy's favorite, Dinger, in Colorado. Baxter just went over to say hi to Jessica Blaylock, and we will do that as well. Hi, Jess.
Hey, Rich. It's time for another email and Twitter Tuesday. As always, we will be taking your tweets and emails all throughout the course of the broadcast on any topic. Be sure to send those tweets to @FoxMarlins. Those emails can go to foxmarlins@gmail.com. And hey, we wanted to show some love to all of you staying up late with us tonight. So our special hashtag for the evening, Late Night with the Fish. And speaking of Late Night with the Fish, someone who stayed up yesterday to watch the Marlins, that would be D. Gordon. He sent out these tweets during the game. The first one gives a shout out to Derek Dietrich, who hit his 4th home run of the season last night in the 7th inning. And then he said, "Come on, boys," during that 8th inning rally. Unfortunately, the Marlins were not able to rally. They dropped game 1 of this series 3-1, but another opportunity tonight to get their first win since the All-Star break. Be sure to keep it right here. First pitch between the Diamondbacks and the Marlins is coming up next. Matt Latos on the mound for the Fish. Jeremy Hellickson on the mound for the Snakes. Rich Waltz and Tommy Hutton will have the call.
Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. And by AutoNation, visit us online at AutoNation.com. A view of the great city of Phoenix. Chase Field right in downtown Phoenix. Christian Yelich got the helmet on, got the bat ready. And he's on his way in. Derek Dietrich, ladies and gentlemen, presents the lineup with some help from JM Lexus. Ichiro in the leadoff spot. Martin Prado hits second. Yelich hitting third. Justin Bour in the cleanup spot. Michael Morse gets a start. He's in left. Derek Dietrich homered last night in his last 9 games. You can see the damage that he's done. JT Realmuto will do the catching. Adeiny Hechavarria slides back down to the 8th position, and Matt Latos hits 9th.
I think the one thing you could say about Jeremy Hellickson for this year, he's 28 years old, is that he's healthy. He had elbow surgery and was on the disabled list the first half of last season when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays. So he is now a Diamondback. He's been healthy, making his 18th start. Does have an ERA a little over 5, though, so he is hittable.
Hellickson, known in the parts of Florida as a Tampa Bay Ray. Traded for a couple of prospects this past offseason. Ichiro in the box. Pinch a penny, getting ready for the first pitch. Hellickson delivers. And this ball game is underway. It's a letter-high fastball at 90 miles an hour. Martin Prado, Christian Yelich facing Hellickson, a guy that in years past is a very deliberate worker on the mound. That's another strike. Ron Kulpa calling balls and strikes. Vic Carapazza, Brian Knight, Larry Vanover on the bases. But he has tried to quicken his pace this year. And he strikes out Ichiro with a big breaking ball. There's one out. Diamondbacks are a very good defensive team, and their defense is brought to you by BMW.
Yeah, they really are, especially that outfield. Peralta's gone 72 games without an error. Pollock has played 40 straight errorless games. Tomas, a good athlete. Jake Lamb, Ahmed, very solid on the left side. Owings, Goldschmidt, and Wellington Castillo behind the plate. Very good defensive ball club.
Martin Prado now. The Marlins saw Hellickson when the Diamondbacks came through and swept them in 4 in Miami. That was in May. Hellickson had a no decision in a Diamondback 4-2 win. 6 innings, gave up just 2 runs.
You know, those 2 runs were provided by a Giancarlo Stanton 2-run homer.
Good crisp curveball. There's the no decision line.
Yeah, so far early on for Hellickson, good live fastball and some good curveballs.
Breaking ball misses in. And it's 1-2. How about a tweet? Let's go there quick. Bernardo. Why is there a path with no grass between home plate and the pitching mound in this ballpark?
I think they took a page out of some older ballparks back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. You saw that a little bit more. I believe at Comerica,
yes,
in Detroit, they have the same look.
Yeah, Comerica. So if you hit a comebacker, you could roll it right up that path.
You get a bad hop. This is not a great infield or outfield as far as the turf is concerned.
Well, Prado has seen the breaking ball enough in the Ichiro at bat and in his at bat that he lays off there. It's a big ballpark. 407 to straightaway center. 413 in the gaps. With the elevation, the desert air, the ball really flies here. So a deep outfield with big gaps. A fast grass infield and outfield means good place to hit. And Prado, there's that fast infield at play. That one into center field for a base hit.
Well, and Martin Prado certainly familiar with this ballpark, having been a Diamondback. He had a very solid year here in 2013, and then last year, about midway through the season, was traded to the Yankees.
You know, that was a great shot, which also illustrates what makes this a great hitter's park. The hitter's background that you saw, the center field wall and the wall up towards the scoreboard, a lot of the hitters this last couple of days, including Lenny Harris, one of the Marlins hitting coaches, talked about what a great hitter's backdrop this is. They call it the batter's eye.
Yeah, it's massive. It's much larger than a lot of backdrops. You can see it right there.
Christian Yelich, a nice night last night. Yelich banged out a couple of hits. Prado's at first. And Hellickson gets a strike. His 2 starts in July have gone well for Hellickson. 2 runs his last time out, just 1 run against the Rockies. He has some interesting accolades on his resume, from Rookie of the Year to Gold Glove.
I was actually surprised when I read that the only other pitcher to have won a Rookie of the Year and also a Gold Glove, not necessarily in the same year, is Fernando Valenzuela.
Yelich is hitting 6 straight. And it's out. And it's 2-1.
I'll get a tweet in, Rich, from Daniel. Daniel Stetton wants to know what's going on with Josh Naylor. He hasn't played in 10 days. The young first-round pick of the Marlins. I was just reading an article. He's got just the tail end of mononucleosis, little mono. He's battling that, but should be back. Has gotten off to a pretty good start in the Gulf Coast League, so that's why he hasn't been in the lineup.
2-1. Yelich sends that one out to left. Peralta rushing in, and he makes a catch. So 2 outs. Remember, send a tweet during tonight's game at Fox Marlins. Include the hashtag TuneInMarlins and hashtag sponsored, and you'll be entered for a chance to win autographed team gear and more. Stay tuned for Marlins Live postgame show. Find out if you're the lucky winner. That's something new, Hud.
Viewer appreciation.
I like it, especially for the kids that stay up late tonight. Justin Bour. Bour last night, 1 for 2. Single his first time up, and the big guy trying to push a bunt to third with the infield shifted.
You know what? Give him credit. If you're going to give him all that room, and he was trying, he was thinking. If he just gets it down, didn't quite get the bat out quite far enough, but if he just gets it down that third base line, he has himself a base hit.
For the Marlins on the road, it has been a real tough run. They've lost 8 straight on the road, and in those 8 games, they've scored just 20 runs. Bour didn't like the call, shakes his head, and steps out. That's why he didn't like the call, man. That's low. Not quite off the plate, but plenty low to a big left-handed bat. Do you think if Justin Bour continues to swing the bat the way he does and say he's in the big leagues for 2, 3, 4 more years, do those calls start disappearing? Because we've seen him, more than any Marlin hitter, have more pitches called outside of the strike zone than anybody else in the last month.
And he has a good eye, because generally when he questions or shakes his head, he's usually right.
Prado's running and Bour flips it foul. Do you think that changes if he's in the league a little bit more?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, if you talk to umpires, they're going to tell you that makes no difference. But I think it does, and I think it might change.
Well, I think regardless of if it's the, hey, you give it to a veteran call, I think umpires will see that call and they'll remember it. Oh, you know what? I missed the call on this kid because he crowds the plate. He's big. He's tall.
He didn't complain too much.
Right. And umpires watch the video. They get graded on every game using the same Fox Track technology that we have for our strike zone.
Umpires appreciate how a hitter and a pitcher handle themselves on bad calls, because they generally know if they miss a call.
Bour sends that one up and in foul territory, and it's out of play. Lefty has got a tweet. When is Marcell Ozuna coming back up? He's hitting over 300, a couple of homers. He may be the Marlins' best outfielder, minus Stanton, in terms of power.
Well, it's good that you asked that. There have been a lot of tweets about Ozuna. We talked about Marcell last night. He's played 10 games. He was 0 for 3 last night. I don't think it's going to be that long before he's back here.
Pitches a ball, turning into a nice at bat for Bour. So far for Marcell Ozuna in New Orleans, a couple homers, driven in 5, and the OPS is at 916. The slugging percentage for Ozuna as a Marlin this year was of concern. Not a lot of homers, not a lot of doubles. And it wasn't just, hey, Marcell, go down to AAA. It was, here are some of the things we want you to work on. We're going to send some people in to work with you. And a daily conversation with the manager and the hitting coach of New Orleans to see if he's able to make the adjustments. And he has. And it's a lot of it has to do with pulling the ball a little more, driving the ball to center field a little more, and maybe a less thinking to hit it away. Moore reaches out, flips that one down the left field line. Peralta is there to make the catch. A Prado single is what the Marlins get the first, a scoreless start. Aren't they all in the summer here? Here come the Diamondbacks, who last night snapped a 6-game losing streak, beating the Marlins. Jan Lexus brings you their lineup. A.J. Pollock's in the leadoff spot. Chris Owings up to the 2 spot. Paul Goldschmidt hits third. David Peralta hitting cleanup. Yasmani Tomas gets his first start of the series. Young Jake Lamb is at third base. Wellington Castillo hits Matt Latos quite well. Nick Ahmed is the shortstop. And Jeremy Hellickson is in the 9 position.
The thing to keep our eye on tonight with Matt Latos is the fact that tonight is July 21st, and the last time he started was July 5th. It was a terrific start. Gave up just 1 hit and a run, but got the loss to the Chicago Cubs. Remember, he missed the start against the Cincinnati Reds. The good news, he's had tremendous success here in this ballpark.
Of course, Latos started his career in this division, the National League West, with the San Diego Padres. Pollock, a leadoff man with pop. Marlins know that all too well. He really hurt him in Miami. And he takes a fastball for a strike. All-star is A.J. Pollock. He was 0 for 2 with a couple walks last night. Very good outfielder. And offensively, the Notre Dame product is blossoming in the big leagues. Busted bat, lots of shrapnel, kindling, whatever you want. Derek Dietrich gobbles up the ground ball, and there's one down.
Let's check on that defense behind Matt Latos. Brought to you by BMW. Michael Morse with the start. He's in left field. Yelich and Ichiro filling out the outfield. Echeverria and Prado up the middle. Etch still has a nice streak going, 27 consecutive games without an error. I think Derek Dietrich starting to settle in, feeling more comfortable at third base. Over at first is Justin Bohr and JT Real Muto behind the plate.
There's Chris Owings. And he takes down low. Benjamin in Texas, a Marlins fan and always a welcome contributor to Twitter Tuesday with his emails. The 1-0. Rich and Tommy. I found it interesting during last night's game that if one team's replay system is having issues, the other team is still allowed to use their replay system. I can understand why that's the case, but could that possibly encourage the home team to tamper with the visitors' replay system? The replay equipment that is in each clubhouse, it's my understanding that that's a Major League Baseball setup. The equipment is supplied by Major League Baseball.
But the individual teams have nothing to do with that.
Major League Baseball representatives in each ballpark set those systems up. So, Benjamin, I think that it's safe from tampering. But it is an interesting, and we were, again, today, got an email confirming what we were told last night, that if one team's replay system goes down, a swing and a miss, down goes Owings, that the other team's replay system is still functional and can be used. Now, the caveat to that is the team who is having technical difficulties will get extra time to, A, look at the replay that they have, if they have any looks. B, they can actually look in the clubhouse at the television sets that have replays from both broadcasts. So the Marlins telecast, and oftentimes in each clubhouse they'll have the home telecast and the road telecast up. Also, a manager or anybody in the dugout can watch the big screen in the ballpark, where they often show the replays for the fans. Goldschmidt hits a bullet into left field for a hit.
I'll tell you what, no matter what you talk about, Paul Goldschmidt can hit. It doesn't matter.
And the final caveat is that's if something goes wrong during the game. If there's a problem before the game, then umpires have the discretion to try to even the score, disable both, or monitor the situation as they see fit.
I think, Rich, that Dan Jennings should have the discretion of looking up toward our booth, and we could have signs, because we get the replays up here, and we could have signs, thumbs up, thumbs down.
Or you could throw the flag.
Any little thing we can do to help.
Throw the flag or pop the chain. Any kind of sign. A strike to Peralta. All right, well,
see, we could have the thumbs up. That'd be, check it.
You don't want to pop the chain?
No, I think thumbs up, thumbs down, you could see easier from where DJ's in the dugout.
Latos with a move over. Goldschmidt back in.
Now, we get tweets like this. I'll read this, but Andrew just says, please respond to my tweet. First time doing this. Got to go to bed soon. There's no question or anything, but Andrew, we responded.
Go back on the timeline and see if Andrew's got one on there. Or just click on Andrew's
Click on
name.
Andrew. Okay.
Go onto his timeline. Runner goes. Little tapper. Latos flip to first. We'll have more tech tips when we return in the second. Matt Latos and the Marlins scoreless with the Diamondbacks. choice for Diamondback fans. A little red-orange for the Fish. Let's scout Jeremy Hellickson.
Well, we've seen that slurvy curveball. It's been a pretty good one. Good changeup. Late movement with that cutter, and we talked about his pace. Get men on base, he slows that pace down a little bit.
Michael Morse getting the start in left field.
Hey, Rich, you know, Jessica talked about a couple of tweets received last night from Dee Gordon. I mean, maybe we'll get something during the telecast tonight.
I think if we're going to get a tweet from Dee Gordon, there's a soft liner. We're going to have to make a play like Brandon Phillips made last night. I mean, I think Dee responded to this.
Oh, he can appreciate this. A little behind the back flip to Suarez.
That is a Meziga-like, isn't it?
Yeah. Great job by Suarez, too, to barehand it.
Well, how about Bert Badenhop getting into the shot? It's the hopper. He's the one that gave up the ground ball.
Yeah, that's certainly a play anybody can appreciate. And all-star second baseman Dee Gordon can, too.
Derek Dietrich now. Dietrich blasted his 4th homer of the season, a solo shot in last night's ball game. Hellickson throws a breaking ball for a strike.
Here's a guy who's really taken charge of an opportunity. Derek Dietrich. He swung the bat well. He's been solid at third base. Even got a terrific play over at first base last night when he moved over there for an inning.
And he looked like a hockey goalie protecting the line as he lunged out, made the save, fell down, and then got the out. Well, 2 things for Dietrich, Tommy, that will help him in his major league career and help the Marlins certainly this year and hopefully moving forward. He's been able to hit off the bench as a pinch hitter. He's been one of the Marlins' better pinch hitters this last month. And as you noted, he's versatile. He can play at least 3 infield spots. You could probably throw him at shortstop in an emergency. That's where he played in college. But he's played 3rd, 2nd, and 1st.
You have that ability to do that and then swing the bat the way he does. You're going to hang around here for a while. This was his home run last night. He's got some pop in his bat. There's no question about that. Just out of the reach of Inciarte, and for Dietrich, number 4 on the year.
Bouncer to first. Goldschmidt to the bag. And there's 2 outs. Marlins.com, your one-stop shop for breaking news, tickets, sweepstakes, merchandise, and more. Sign up for free Marlins emails, text alerts so you can receive year-round Marlins coverage, offers, discounts, and more. Go to Marlins.com and become an insider today. So the guy that wanted his tweet read, he never had one read, wanted you to read his tweet, and you were going to find his timeline, which you did.
Which you showed me how to do.
Right.
And basically just wanted to say that he thought you and I were awesome. So thanks a lot, Andrew.
That's an easy way to get your tweet read. Realmuto takes inside. Carl tweets, all pitchers have a pitch count. Does Tommy Hutton have a tweet count?
Not on email Twitter Tuesday. Let it fly.
Especially when it's a late night edition. That's a strike from Hellickson. And a 1-1 count to JT Realmuto. 1 for 3 was Realmuto last night. Hellickson's ERA up in the low 5s. His career ERA is under 4. Way out in front was Realmuto. It's 1-2.
No, he was always a pitcher. Hellickson was certainly on the radar of the Rays in 09. He was their minor league pitcher of the year between AA and AAA. A real strong season.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And he got him. Changeup. Righty on righty changeup on the outside part. Scoreless ball game.
In the bottom of the second. Well, ever since retiring from baseball back in 2009, Randy Johnson has spent a majority of his time dedicated to his favorite hobby, photography. He has shot everything from U2 and Kiss concerts to NFL games, even excursions to countries like Rwanda and Botswana. He says that as much as he enjoyed the thrill of pitching, he gets a similar satisfaction from using those photography skills. You can actually check out his work on his Instagram account at RJ51Photos or his website RJ51Photos.com. And guys, very interesting, he actually majored in photojournalism while pitching for USC.
I like that page as well. He's got the South Park avatar of him as a Diamondback. Very nice. And we saw him here last night. RJ51 Photos. That one lined down the right field line off the bat of Tomas, and it curls just foul. That one almost got around the pole for an opposite field home run, and it kind of shows you the type of power that this guy has to all fields. And one of the things that if you watch a lot of the Cuban right-handed bats, whether on the Cuban national team or the guys that are in the big leagues, they have incredible power to center and to right center.
Yeah, it was one of the things earlier this year, though, that he had to kind of change just a little. He adjusted. He was hitting everything to right field. And all of a sudden, with some adjustments, he started to pull pitches that were inner half. But as far as rookie rankings, Yasmani Tomas is right up there with the best of them. Had that series in Miami. He was 9 for 18 in the series. Enjoyed playing in Miami.
Born in Havana. He's only 24. He played 5 years with the Industriales.
There's a good description right there on that graphic that he's used the entire field this year. That's how you hit 300.
Jake Lamb, Wellington Castillo follow. Breaking ball up the middle. Echeverria to his left, and one Cuban throws out another. And so there's one out here in the second. Emails and tweets tonight. Boca Bob wants to know, what's the reasoning for not using cell phones to call the bullpen?
That would open up a whole Pandora's box there if you brought cell phones into the dugout.
Right, because if especially in ballparks where the bullpens have a view of the catcher you have the danger of, or the opportunity, whichever way you're looking at it, to bring signs into the dugout that they see with the catcher flashing out to the pitcher. A strike to Jake Lamb.
You could knock down the cell tower in a visiting bullpen. No bars. Can't communicate.
Here's the 0-1. You could have Pablo Sandoval texting or following his Twitter feed during the game. There's the 1-1. What was the app that was it Tinder? With a dating site?
I'm not that familiar with those, Rich.
He swiped like, and that's how they traced that he actually was on his cell phone during a game, was suspended a game.
And he continues, by the way, to hit lefty against lefty. I saw him a couple of at-bats last night against Andrew Heaney. And up there left-handed against Heaney, who was tremendous for the Angels last night.
Latos misses in. Jake Lamb swung the bat well last night. Lamb, one of the young Diamondbacks. He was 2 for 4. Latos misses in. All right, we have a 3-part email, which is actually pretty entertaining. So follow along. It's from Scott in Lauderhill. I need to start it before there are 2 out. It's fouled off. All right, first, do you think Dan Jennings will remain the skipper the rest of the year and next year? You know, it's really hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. I think what will happen, the ball club will assess things when the season's over.
I think Dan Jennings will assess things as well. Does he want to be the manager? And as I said when the Marlins made the move, it's a results-driven industry. If the Marlins improve and win, then that changes a lot of things. If the Marlins continue their trail right now, they are a season low 17 under, then obviously everybody's going to reassess things as you go. All right, next they want to know.
That's right, it was 3 parts.
Yes. I always hear you guys reading the disclaimer, but I'm wondering, if I ask about something that happens in a game, will I have disclaimer police knocking down my door? I do not have express written consent from the commissioner or the Marlins. There are, listen, there's a few lawyers in New York that work for Major League Baseball, but there are no disclaimer police. Finally, why does Ichiro have his first name on his jersey and everyone has their last name? That goes back to his start in Japanese baseball.
That's a good story.
His manager, who brought him to the big leagues, pulled him into his office and said, Ichiro, I want you to wear Ichiro on the back of your jersey. And Ichiro said, no, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm just a rookie. And he said, no. He said, look, Suzuki is one of the most popular surnames in Japan. He said, there's 200 Suzukis in this league, but you're going to be special. So I'm going to call you Ichiro, and I want Ichiro on your jersey. And that's how it started. And his manager was right. He was special. It's not something that Ichiro sought or really was a party to early in his career. That is an interesting.
It got a little bit of everybody.
Yeah. So good work from Scott in Lauderhill. 3-part question. And we got it in during this at bat to Wellington Castillo.
And a good pitch there by Matt Latos.
And a 1-2-3 inning for the Diamondbacks. It's scoreless in Arizona. Pay attention. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Miami Marlins and the Disclaimer Police. A retransmission in any form, counts, descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Marlins. Ichiro fans are here, and so is Ichiro in the lineup tonight in the leadoff spot. He's due up third this inning. Danny Echeverria, Matt Latos against Jeremy Hellickson in the third on an email and Twitter Tuesday. It was a double play fest last night, wasn't it? As the Marlins couldn't keep from bouncing into double plays. 4 double plays in the first 7 innings. And for Danny Echeverria, especially frustrating, he hit into 2 of them. A little inside out swing, a soft liner to Chris Owings.
Yeah, the double plays were a killer. There were 5, and they were all fairly routine. This one, Ichiro scalded the ball. He was trying to pull a ball in the hole. That turned into a 4-6-3 double play. 1 hop, 5-4-3 around the horn. So all the double plays were very routine, if you will, and just rally killers. They really hurt when you get a few men on base.
Routine, rally killer, and Ruby De La Rosa. He was the pitcher for all 4 of those double plays. Here's Latos, who has swung the bat well this series. 5 for 16. And he has 7 sacrifice bunts.
Got a great tweet after this pitch to Matt Latos. See, anybody with the first name Frito gets his tweet read at Cocktail81, but it's really addressed to the Diamondbacks. And the question to the Diamondbacks: how come you guys don't answer Twitter questions during your broadcast like the Marlins do? I think it's great.
Matt Latos swings and misses. Well, tomorrow night we can ask Bob Brenly, or maybe you can go over there and ask Steve Berthiaume. Steve's on the left, Brenly on the right. We will have our annual announcer swap. Not quite like Mike Kekich and Fritz Peterson.
Let's hope not. A little switcheroo. Their booth right next to ours, so we won't have to travel too far.
Ichiro struck out back in the first. Little flare to left. Peralta charges in, and he makes a basket catch. Now Jeremy Hellickson in a groove right now. He's retired 8 straight. Johnson has been up there with his camera. Marlins In Phoenix tonight and Phoenix tomorrow night, Lexus of Pembroke Pines brings you the schedule. San Diego for 4. And then the next homestand, the Nationals, the Padres, and the Mets. Coverage starts with Marlins Live tomorrow night at 9 o'clock here in Arizona. On an email and Twitter Tuesday, I have email duty. Tommy Hutton is riding herd on the tweets. What you got?
Well, I got one from Ben, and Ben wants to know, we've had a lot of questions in this same direction. Rich and Tommy, do you guys think it would make sense for the Marlins to trade away Matt Latos or Dan Herron for prospects? Yeah, I do think it makes sense, because if your chances of making the playoffs are minuscule and you have guys who probably will not be back next year,
who are free agents,
they're both free agents, then yes, it makes sense.
Nick Ahmed leads it off for the Diamondbacks. Jeremy Hellickson, A.J. Pollock behind them. Guys, the tone of this email won't suit your telecast, but here we go. I normally don't second guess a manager. However, if you have a team that struggles to score runs, why on earth would you take out your best player? Jose Fernandez has a busted bat to third. With his pitch count sitting at 70, you have to know that your best chance of winning with Jose is putting up zeros as long as he can go. It's from Orlando.
I think part of that decision, whether you agree with it or not, was because there were a couple of runners on base. You talked about the success recently of Derek Dietrich pinch hitting. He went in to pinch hit. And more than likely, you're going to get one more inning out of Jose anyway. So with the club struggling to score runs, the chance was taken at that time to pinch hit for Jose. I don't know if I agree with it all the time, but that was the decision that DJ made then.
Dietrich hit a hard shot up the middle. This was in Philly. Freddie Galvis to his left was able to cut it off, and the Marlins came up empty. But hey, Orlando, any question is will suit us. We're happy to tackle any topic. Count is 0-2. Stan and Stan in Asheville have a nostalgic email from long ago. Things in baseball that they used to see that they don't see anymore. 0-2 pitch coming. And Hellickson takes down low. And it starts for as long as I can remember. When a pitcher left the game after doing well, he would tip his cap to the crowd to acknowledge their applause. I don't see that anymore.
Well, I think the crowd has changed some too. If the crowd doesn't applaud, which I think many times they do, but it's a nice gesture. I like that.
Years ago, when a player reached first base, he would bend down and scoop up a little dirt in each hand, hold it while on base, and it was to keep his hands and fists in fists so he wouldn't break a finger. You could even see the runner release the dirt as they crossed home plate.
Well, a couple of things for that. First of all, you didn't see as many head first slides then. So if you had dirt in your hand, you couldn't head first slide. I don't disagree with any of that. Secondly, you have all the contraptions now that guys put on their wrists to keep their hand from getting hurt when they put it down on the ground.
And finally, and maybe most importantly, that was before batting gloves. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hit hard and into left, a base hit for A.J. Pollock. Players soon discovered that instead of picking up dirt in their hand, they could simply take their batting glove off and hold it in their hand, and that's what a lot of players do now. They simply roll up the batting gloves, hold it in their hand, and that keeps them from opening their hand on a slide. Some players don't do it, some players do.
And talking about the dirt, we always talk about it with Jose on the mound. We'll see him tomorrow night. And he'll go to that Rosenbach occasionally. But as a kid growing up in Cuba, he'd go to the dirt. We always see that dirt rubbed on the back part of his pants.
And so Pollock doesn't do either. He doesn't do the dirt or the gloves, just puts it in the back pocket. Chris Owings is up. Second baseman for the Diamondbacks. 2 outs, bottom of the third. One more thing from Stan and Stan. They remember back when players used to leave their glove on the fields. Some say it used to be in foul territory, but they remember when middle infielders would toss the gloves into the outfield grass after the third out. Is that true? They want to know if we can find an answer on that. Also, I want to know, stockings showing, or do you like the pajama look with the pants that go all the way down to the shoes?
I don't know if I'm a pajama fan too much. I like a little old school look. You don't see the stirrup look anymore.
Every now and then you'll see a guy with a stirrup. 1-1 pitch. Matt Latos getting some swings and misses tonight. So you don't prefer that. Now you go tell George Hendrick, who was one of the very
George was great.
He was one of the very first.
Yes, he was.
Wear the pants all the way down to the shoe. Rich wants to know, what's your favorite National League West press box? That's a really good question. This is a good press box here.
It's a great vantage point.
In LA, you sit next to Vin Scully, so
San Francisco's tremendous.
Runner goes, big jump, bouncer to short. Echeverria, quick release, nice play by Adeiny Echeverria. Owings is out. Latos is through 3, and nary a run has scored tonight in Phoenix. Of prorated season ticket plans. Get the best seats. Upcoming series, second half. Remember, you've got Red Sox, Nationals, Mets, and more. Enjoy all the benefits of becoming a Marlins Fish Family member. Marlins.com/2015 tickets. Call 1-877-MARLINS. Hey, that's one of our buddies from Marlins
Tom.
Park.
That's Tom, one of the guards down the bullpen.
He has made the trek here to Arizona. Martin Prado against Jeremy Hellickson with Christian Yelich and Justin Bour to follow. Breaking ball misses down low. We have conflicting emails and tweets a lot. We just had an email with one fan wanting Cole Gillespie back in the starting lineup, referencing Gillespie's big numbers, and he has had a terrific run with the Fish. He's not in there tonight, so that fan is angry. And Tony wants to know, how come the Marlins aren't giving Michael Morse more at bats? Now he's a pinch hitter and a spot starter. How do you expect him to break out of his slump He was a huge part of the Giants championship last year. Getting an occasional start and a pinch hitting appearance here and there is no way to bust out of a slump. Why is Morse not given the same opportunity as Christian Yelich was, who was hitting under 200 for a couple of months?
I don't disagree with that. I think Michael Morse has to be in there on a regular basis for a couple of reasons. Michael Morse in the offseason signed a 2-year contract. You've got to get him straight through the rest of this year so you have him ready to be in there on an everyday basis next season.
I think Yelich and Morse's situations are very different. Yelich had a back injury, played through it. Morse was on the disabled list a long time, and at that point Yelich, you could really see, was getting back into form. The plate discipline was there, the hits were starting to come, and Yelich has been maybe Miami's most consistent hitter over the last month, 5-6 weeks. To third, Prado bounces out. We apologize if our fine audio equipment here at Chase Field has picked up any profanities, but
hopefully not from us. As I read this next one, Rich, I think I'm going to direct this to you.
Are there profanities in it?
No, they're not.
Good.
It's from Dave, and Dave wants to know, do you ever see the day in Major League Baseball?
Yelich lines it to right, and that's right at Tomas.
When electronics such as Fox Tracks will ever replace the home plate umpire calling balls and strikes. So you'd have an umpire behind the plate just to make calls on plays at the plate. Do you ever see that?
Yes. I don't know that it replaces the umpire. I think it assists the umpire. Because you still need to have an umpire behind home plate to call plays at the plate.
Well, that's right. That would be the question. He still would be there for that, but not to call balls and strikes.
Sure. 15, 20, 30 years. He has some sort of mask that has, you know, how they project the.
Who do you turn around and argue with then?
You don't. And maybe they put the strike zone up on the big scoreboard.
Have a giant Fox Tracks on the scoreboard.
Right. I mean, if the technology is here and it works, and it does, I mean, that's the closest thing you're going to get to perfect as far as the strike zone. I think people assume in every sport, baseball no different than hockey, basketball, football, that officiating is easy and that an umpire should be able to get 100% of the calls right behind the plate, because they see that little box and they say, how could they call that a ball and it's just outside the line? They don't have the lines. It's coming at 100 miles an hour. It's moving. It's cutting. It's sinking. So, yeah, whenever they figure out how to do it, I think they should do it. What do you think?
I think it just changed everything way too much, because it's been a game that's had those decisions, which, if you go back and look, most umpires are over 90%, sometimes over 95% correct. And I think even if you have electronics, you're still going to have guys complaining.
Justin Bour lifts it foul and out of play.
Pretty soon, if you start going in that direction, they'll start replacing broadcasters with electronic calls.
That's about 20 years down the road, too.
But they won't be receiving emails and tweets.
Here's the 2-2. That's what you're looking for, the little robot announcer?
Well, I know he got a tweet from Juan sending us a picture of George Hendrick, but he's with the Indians with stirrups. He didn't start going with the long pajama look till he got to the Cardinals. That's a great picture.
Bour pulls a ground ball. This will be an interesting play. Cutting in front to get the out at third. And is the shortstop, Nick Ahmed. Scoreless ball game. Marlins, Diamondbacks. Brought to you by your local Chevy dealers. Visit your South Florida Chevy dealers today. By Checkers, Mix, and Match, our famous Big Buford, and Big Chicken Deluxe. Get the 2 for $5. Checkers, it's in the bag. By Subaru of Pembroke Pines, price, service, selection. You're gonna love us. And by Pixels, in theaters July 24th. Some great sights in this part of the country. Marlin fans and Diamondback fans are hopeful for a run. Bottom of the fourth, Matt Latos. A breaking ball to Paul Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt singled back in the first. Toyota trend. Most 300 hitters. Arizona's got 3 of them. Pollock, Tomas, and of course this guy, Goldschmidt. The West has got a trio of teams with 3 guys over 300.
What a solid player, by the way, Joe Panik has become with San Francisco. Yunel Escobar having an outstanding season.
As is Bryce Harper. Goldschmidt takes down low. Is there a guy with the better plate discipline in the game than Goldschmidt right now?
Well, 71 walks. On base percentage over 450.
He's on pace to get up, you know, Joey Votto like numbers. And there he goes down to first.
And what makes you think a little bit when he gets down to first base, we talked about it last night, 17 stolen bases for Goldschmidt. So you have to keep your eye on him when he's over at first. No question, but a quick shout out from the Jacob Diamond. Hey, how about a shout out to the best clubhouse staff in the league? Well, I'll probably miss names, but Jacob, Jeremy, Dom, Bean, Rock over on the visiting side, Silver. It's a great staff. All these guys in South Florida, in Miami, taking care of the clubhouse. They are the best in the league.
Breaking ball pulled foul. Jim has a good email. Favorite baseball slang expression? What's your favorite baseball slang expression? He wants to know who's the first to say toe the rubber, or is Ichiro considered a punch and Judy hitter? Who's punch Who's Judy?
That was an old, they were old characters, I think. Old cartoon characters. Or puppet show, I think. Punch and Judy. I guess they weren't long ball hitters.
No.
So maybe that's...
Apparently not. So what's your favorite baseball? Now, one that you can say on the air, Thomas Hutton.
Oh, I'd have to think about that.
Not just some baseball slang that you used back in the day in Philly.
Well, there's some funny slang things that translate through generations. If you say to a young player today that guy last night dialed 8, he would know what you're talking about. But if you remember back in the 70s and before that, where you were in a hotel, to get a long distance call, you had to dial 8. So a guy hit a home run, he dialed 8. But you don't hear that now because everybody has a cell phone.
All right, here's the interesting thing about Punch and Judy. The term is attributed to your former manager, Walter Alston, who, when asked about a home run by Willie McCovey, said, well, when he belts a home run, he does it with such authority. It seems like an act of God. Can't cry about it. He's not a Punch and Judy hitter. He was referring to simply, hold on, a hitter may be referred to simply as a Judy.
Judy, yeah.
Tony Gwynn referred to himself as a Judy, as in Punch and Judy hitter.
He was a Hall of Fame Judy.
Yes, he was. I like turn over the spread.
Which, again, you're not going to see happen anymore. They used to put the clubhouse spreads, the spread, the sandwiches, whatever was put out to eat after a game. Sometimes it would be put right in the middle of the clubhouse on a table.
A 1-pitch to Tomas. Chopper off Latos' glove. Echeverria safe. And with one out, the Diamondbacks have runners at first and second.
Well, for a minute, you thought the 6'6" Matt Latos would make that play, but it just got off his glove, and a great effort by Echeverria to make it as close as it was at first. I didn't think he had a chance. Here's the attempt by Latos. He slows it up just a little bit, and look at the throw by Echeverria, just beaten by Tomas.
And here is Jake Lamb. Turn over the spread refers to managers when they wanted to send a message to their team after a bad loss. The spread used to be what the team would eat, and it would be on a couple of card tables in the middle of the clubhouse. Sandwiches, cold cuts, pizza, whatever. Latos has got it and will tag the runner out. And the manager would go in and put on a big show and get on his team, and then eventually turn over the spread and say, you guys don't deserve this food. Go.
That's right.
Well, now, as Tommy pointed out, in these modern clubhouses, there are kitchens and dining facilities. Not all of them. We were just at Fenway, and in the visitors clubhouse in Fenway, if you wanted food, you just kind of walked into this little room, grabbed the food, but you had to eat it back in your locker. Preston Wilson has tweeted in, actually texted in, stay hot is a good one that has multiple uses.
Stay hot. Yes, it does. On and off the field.
Yes, you can use it in a sarcastic bent as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 outs. And here is Castillo again. I mean, remember the run that Yelich was going through where he was hitting balls hard at everybody and not getting hits. I'm sure a few people, when he got back to the dugout, would say, hey, stay hot.
Stay hot. Yet, on the other hand, if he was like 7 for 8, comes back to the dugout, guys would say, hey, stay hot. And we appreciate Preston staying up with us.
It's going to be a tough play. Dietrich loads up, fires across. It's caught and tagged nicely by Justin Bour. And Latos gets out of trouble here in the fourth. Emails and tweets have been fun so far. Kids, keep it up. Scoreless ball game tonight in the desert. Marlins and Diamondbacks.
In the top of the fifth. Good to see that even though Dee Gordon is not on the field, he is still being rewarded for the season that he has put together so far. Dee has been named the winner of the 2015 Heart and Hustle Award by the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association. They name a winner for each team, and he has taken it home for the Marlins. So congratulations, Dee. That is well deserved. And good news, Dee has started to take some swings off of the tee. Hopefully he will be back soon. You can see that tweet, Heart and Hustle, speed kills. The Marlins could definitely use the speed of Dee Gordon back in the lineup.
Yeah, the Marlins do miss his spark, and I think the clubhouse misses him as well. We miss him. He's such a good guy and a fun guy. Brings so much energy and is having a terrific year. Michael Morse swings and misses.
Yeah, our congrats to Dee for that Heart and Hustle Award.
South Florida Honda dealers, get you ready for tomorrow night, 8:30 start. Marlins live. Jose on the hill. Count 1-2. Michael Morse, Derek Dietrich, JT Realmuto.
Yeah, Jose against left-hander Robbie Ray. Jose making his fourth start of the year. Well, you've talked about it, Rich, since that single by Martin Prado in the first inning. Hellickson has retired 11 straight.
And he gets Michael Morse. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo, FL Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself upcoming telecast. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. Now Dietrich. Marlins got a base hit from Martin Prado. And that's it.
Well, it's been a good mixture from Hellickson. His fastball, he spotted that. we've seen a really good changeup, some good curveballs. So he's managed to mix it well. And we talked about his last start, just 4 innings, but he had a little bit of a blister problem in that last outing. But obviously, it appears to be okay tonight.
One thing that's not okay, Tommy, is the giant scoreboard in center field. It has been a blank slate. Maybe they wanted to increase the hitter's backdrop.
You know, I was so focused on tweets and emails that I didn't notice the scoreboard.
So, I mean, if one of the replay rooms went down, now the big high-def scoreboard is down.
Well, it's not as much of a disaster as it was at Nationals Park the other night.
That's right. When a bank of lights went down a couple of times, they had to suspend a game.
Yeah, they basically, the lights went out, they resumed play, they went out again, and then they finally had to suspend the game. Was that against the Dodgers, I think?
I don't know if I should read this on the air, this one email, but it is Late Night with the Fish, so I might as well.
Go for it.
Nice catch by Jake Lamb. Actually, I'll save this one for the start of the next inning. Works better then. Ian from New Jersey, any way to get Tom Hallion to call one of Jose Fernandez's next starts? His strike 3 call, combined with Jose's ability to strike out hitters, would create a very entertaining telecast. Tom Hallion has the ripcord strike 3 where he almost tears himself.
It's like he's throwing his back out.
Yes. It's a great story behind that, actually.
You talked to him about it one day.
I did. I asked him why he did it. And Tom Hallion was one of those umpires who, when the whole labor thing happened with the umpires, there was a group of umpires that A, lost their jobs, and B, some of them had to go down to the minor leagues. Hallion was one of those umpires that chose to go to the minor leagues. And he said, you know, the travel was tough after being in the big leagues for so long. The games, you know, he were in minor league parks, and he decided to do something just to keep his focus. And he went with that strike 3 call to remind him to stay focused. And it kind of a way to kick himself into gear during the course of the game when he was working behind home plate. And kept it when he came back. Here it is. No, that's not Tom Hallion. That's Ron Kolpa.
It's a wannabe.
Yes.
That's Kolpa's impersonation of Tom Hallion.
Tom is much more Enrico Palazzo, naked gun type. That one fouled off. Leslie Nielsen, although he doesn't moonwalk, he does have the big strike 3 call. So that's a good call there from Ian. We'll try to set that up next time we see Tom Hallion.
Come on, the Fizzle.
1-2. Real Muto smokes it down the third base line. It's into the corner. It's a fair ball. And he's got himself extra bases, a 2-out double. His 14th of the season.
Boy, it's been solid for JT Real Muto. 14 doubles, 4 triples, 5 home runs. Having himself a nice road trip with extra base hits. Had a double and a home run in Philly. And scalds that ball past Lamb. It's the first time in this game the Marlins have had a runner in scoring position.
Now at Echeverria, you've got Latos on deck. So an opportunity to get a run on a night where Hellickson has been really tough.
We're talking about expressions. There's a tweet from Nelly. It's kind of interesting. He said in Cuban baseball slang, sometimes said to bad hitters, you couldn't even hit with an ironing board. That's a good visual.
It is. Echeverria lined to second in his only at bat. Runner goes, and Real Muto steals third easily.
Hey, can we get a new ball?
Of course, the old expression by Tommy Lasorda. Look at the jump that Real Muto got. His quote to Kurt Bavacqua: "You couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat."
Into center field, a base hit for Echeverria. Real Muto scores, and Miami has their run. And the stolen base, somewhat of a factor. He may have scored on it, but that was a guaranteed run.
You like the way the Marlins have put together this run. A 2-out base hit, 2-out double by Real Muto. He takes advantage of Hellickson not paying attention to him, goes over to third. And, of course, Hellickson and the Diamondbacks will be questioned, why were you pitching to Echeverria with the pitcher on deck?
So Hellickson had retired 13 in a row. And the Marlins get the double and the single, and here is Latos. And he takes a strike.
Latos has had a good year with the bat.
The count's 0-2. And Hellickson with a breaking ball ends the inning, but Miami's on the board first, halfway through. Clock striking 8 o'clock here in Phoenix. Late night with the Fish back home. Chase Field in Phoenix. It's only 101 degrees outside right now. Jessica Blaylock, Tommy Hutton, Rich Waltz with you. Marlins have a 1-0 lead over the Diamondbacks. Yes, that's the theme music for Late Night with the Fish. And it's the topic from Jeffrey, Miami Gardens, of this email. Love you guys, and you're making a very painful season entertaining on a nightly basis. I've always wondered where that Late Night with the Fish song was from. I was up late one night, 2 or 3 in the morning, and a commercial meant for adults such as myself was shown, which featured the song, and I immediately thought of you guys. Let's just say I now know where the song comes from for the late night games. Now wait a minute here. We used the song first, so we claim that as our anthem and our song. And if somebody, for whatever products, be they adult or otherwise, use it at 3 in the morning, that's their problem. But we're glad that you thought of us when you saw that commercial. Dietrich throws out the hitter.
I'm going to stop right there.
That's a good idea. Nick Ahmed is out. It's Jeremy Hellicks's turn to hit. A.J. Pollock will follow. It's bottom 5 if you're just joining us. The Marlins lead the Diamondbacks. Matt Latos has been sharp. There are plenty of scouts who have followed the Marlins in Philly and then here to Arizona. Echeverria scoops it up, gets the out. Our Geico MLB moments. Matt Latos, Reds at Diamondbacks. 13 punch-outs. This was 2013. Got that downward plane and a good hook.
Well, we talked about his record here at Chase Field, 3-0 and an ERA of 1.60. So he has always pitched well against Arizona, and even more so here in this ballpark. And remember the run he gave up his last start, which was on July 5th, to the Cubs. There was a walk, a single, stolen base, and a wild pitch. That's how the run scored.
A.J. Pollock has bounced out in his single. You got anything good on the Twitter feed?
Yeah.
Liner to right. Ichiro has it. Pollock has his second hit.
Joel has a comment as per our discussion with the electronic strike zone. And his comment is, who's going to enjoy an electronic Billy Martin, Earl Weaver, Lou Piniella style manager arguing with an electronic pitch tracker?
Well, baseball's already diffused a lot of that with replay for plays on the bases, right? You don't see the manager umpire arguments as you used to, because the person deciding the replay is in New York.
You know, you don't want to.
Ball in the dirt, and it kicks away from Real Muto. Pollock a big turn, and he'll hold there.
And I'm not even sure, Rich, if this is a word. You don't want to mechanicalize the game. You want personalities. The game needs personalities. You don't want everybody, every manager out of the same cookie cutter. So I think you take away a little of that if you have the electronic strike zone. There, I made my piece. And I might have created a new word.
With Pollock at second, Owings, a 1-0 pitch coming from Matt Latos. Pollock is running, and that's a strike. And a huge jump, no throw. So both teams getting a steal of third base. And both have come with 2 outs.
Tell you what, A.J. Pollock has a chance to be a 20-20 guy. He already has 20 steals. That was number 20. You talked about his pop earlier in the game. He has 11 home runs.
Fastball, fly ball, well hit. Ichiro back, and he's in the corner and makes the catch. And Matt Latos is through 5 scoreless innings here in Phoenix. Ichiro's coming up, top of the order. In Phoenix tonight on an email and Twitter Tuesday. Here's how to get a hold of us. Hashtag Late Night with the Fish. You can interact on Twitter or Instagram at Fox Marlins, or email us at foxmarlins@gmail.com. Top of the order for the Marlins. Miami on top 1-0. Good pitching matchup. Jeremy Hellickson and Matt Latos have both been sharp. Ichiro is struck out, lined out, and Hellickson's changeup is inside, and it's 1-0.
Hellickson this year has been a little bit better at home than on the road. 4-2 at home in 8 starts.
We had to do a little digging for this, but we found it, and it's with especially with Jose starting tomorrow night, it's worth a read. We got this email from Mark, and this was before Jose's first start. And he was at his father's house watching a game. He said, "Hey, I've got tickets for my son. My dad, my wife, and me. We're behind home plate on Thursday coming up to watch Jose start." You know who's starting for the Giants? It's from Mark and Jeremy. Tomorrow, Jose Fernandez and Robbie Ray, the matchup here. Ichiro sends that one back to the mound. Well, we received this 11 minutes ago. Or not 11 minutes ago. That's the timeline on the email. We probably got this about a couple hours ago. Guys, the day after I sent the email, my father passed away. And my son and I still went to go watch Jose to get our minds off the situation. It was awesome. We had an absolute great opportunity as well to head into Phoenix tomorrow and for a customer meeting on a Thursday, and are going to watch the game. Would love to stop by and say hello before the game. And that is from Mark and Jeremy.
That's outstanding. And Jose didn't disappoint that first outing either.
Yeah, we're sorry for your loss. And hopefully we'll get a chance to say hello to you at the ballpark tomorrow night. Martin Prado now. Prado a single, and he has bounced out. And that breaking ball misses in. So Hellickson and Latos have been on it. The 2-out rally for Miami is it as far as runs go. if this gets tight and it gets to the very end, one thing to remember is the 40-pitch effort last night by Brad Ziegler, who's been the best weapon out of the pen for the Diamondbacks, and by all accounts is off limits tonight.
Yeah, you would have to seriously wonder about his availability. And also, as you look at the line of Matt Latos, remember his last start was July 5th against the Cubs. By the way, I thought it was only fitting, Rich, between innings they had the Legends race that always takes place here at Chase Field, and the winner was Luis Gonzalez. So it's only fitting that Gonzo's in the ballpark tonight, too.
Well, I know the winner wasn't Mark Grace, because Grace has never won.
There's Gonzo. He was around the batting cage. Of course, he has an executive position with the Diamondbacks.
J.J. Putz, there's Derek Hall, the president of the Diamondbacks, with them as well.
Got the biggest hit in Diamondback history.
Hit hard. Lamb gets the out. You always got to love a live snake on your show.
Oh, yeah.
Fish Family exclusive loyalty program for Marlin fans. Marlins.com/Fish Family. Your bonus code tonight is not Fang or Rattle. It's Arizona.
Does that mean it's getting ready to strike?
Strike is not a good word in baseball unless you're a pitcher, Tommy. There's Yelich.
We did have a tweet over an hour ago about that. Why is a K used for strike? We've answered that before. Years ago, when a batter struck at the ball, of course the word ends in K, so abbreviated, they just put in their scorebook a K. And some will reverse the K for a called strike.
That's where Tom Hallion comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Is the called strike three. Umpires only have that strike three call when it's a called strike three. When a hitter swings and misses, umpires just kind of put the right hand up like, yeah, he swung.
You did, yeah.
Now that you can get cold beverages on a hot day there here in Arizona.
Christian Yelich lined out back in the fourth inning, trying to extend his hitting streak to 7 games. He's always hit well against Arizona. Came into this game a .340 career average against the Diamondbacks.
Both pitchers have struck out 5. Hellickson hasn't walked anybody. Matt Latos has walked 1. Yelich lines it into left field for a hit. A 2-out single, and that'll get an at bat for Justin Bour. And it might have Yelich on the move here. By the way, the emails and the tweets tonight have been terrific. We appreciate you staying up late with us, and hopefully it livens up the telecast. It certainly makes it much more enjoyable for us to be able to get your thoughts and get them out on the air. Even we've had some angry ones, some frustrated ones, some creative ones.
So we're giving our fans a good rating tonight. Kind of like we gave our Uber driver last night.
That's right. Throw over to first. Ben and Joan have this one. In Georgia, temperatures got to 102, heat index of 107. I know that games can be called because of rain. Has one ever been called because of heat?
I'm going to say yes. I couldn't tell you which one, but I believe there have been games in the past that have been called because of such a high heat index.
Justin Bour swings and misses. We work with the fine folks at Stats in Los Angeles, one of the top statistical bureaus. Are they still called bureaus in all of sports? And they right now can't find any game on record.
No.
Oh, 1 to Bour.
Boy, back in the 70s, some of those old circular stadiums, Veterans Stadium, Three Rivers, Riverfront, when it got hot on that turf, you could see the steam rising from the turf.
You would have guys' metal spikes actually melt in their shoes because the turf got so hot, up to 140, 150 degrees. Kansas City, St. Louis.
You would want your pitcher to work quickly.
Big shift on for Bohr. Yelich at first and a throw over to first. As we talked about last night, you played in the Coast League. I broadcast in the Coast League when not only Phoenix had a team, but Tucson had a team. And you would go in for a series in Phoenix and a series in Tucson, and you would not start a game at 7:30 at night with a temperature under 103 or 104 on some trips in the dead of summer.
Yeah, I think they used to start those games in Phoenix at 8 o'clock, thinking that it would be a little cooler. But as we mentioned, it would still be over 100 degrees.
And one of the reasons they start the games here at 6:40 local time is because of the heat. People get started earlier around here. A lot of activity happens in the morning. And so that means you got to get to bed a little earlier at night. 2-1. And Bohr pops it foul and out of play.
Lots of off-speed stuff Justin Bohr is getting from Hellickson. Curveballs, changeups. Occasionally, they'll show him a fastball.
Now, the other thing is, if you really want to beat the heat, sit in the pool. I hope that the Diamondback broadcasters, and you can ask Steve Berthune tomorrow, I'll ask Brent Lee tomorrow.
Okay.
I hope that they do a game in their shorts with their feet in the pool and a fruity liquor drink or a cold one out there, because that's just a perfect place to do
I'd
it.
worry about electronics if my feet were in the pool, though.
True.
But it does sound like a great idea.
Yelich still at first. 2-2 coming to Bohr. And he swings and misses, and he's out. And the inning is over. So Bohr goes down. Yelich is left. Bottom of the sixth, 1-0 Miami. Networking event fundraiser for your organization. Arrange for your next group outing at Marlins Park. Ask about the all-new food and beverage options, including VIP groups, all-you-can-eat seats, and the new Clevelander Sunday Brunch. 1-877 Marlins. Go to marlins.com/groups today. In Phoenix, 1-0. Miami on top. Matt Latos has been just a little bit better than Jeremy Hellickson. As Paul Goldschmidt steps in. David Peralta, Yasmani Tomas. You got the meat of the order for the Diamondbacks. 3, 4, and 5. Emails and tweets tonight. Goldschmidt is singled and walked. We got a catching question. And this is from Dylan in Cooper City. Fastball is up. After watching tonight's game, I see both catchers are calling their own games. The other night, I was watching the Cardinals game, and Yadier Molina was looking into the dugout for
Trust
signs.
me, Yadier Molina calls his own game.
I know. Let me finish here. Here's the 1-1. Check swing and a breaking ball. No swing. And they count 2-1. Can you please explain to me who decides that the catcher calls the game and how a rookie catcher is calling the game and Molina doesn't? Dylan from Cooper City. Dylan, when Yadier Molina is looking into,
listen up, Dylan,
is looking into the dugout, he's not looking in for the pitch sign. What he's looking for, either from his bench coach or from the manager, is a running game sign, and that is, what do you want to do with a runner on base? Do you want to throw over? Do you want to pitch out? See, right now there's nobody on, and so Real Muto is focused on the mound. That was into center and hit well. Yelich is back, and he's there, and he makes the catch. But with a runner on, all Major League catchers will take a peek in, because the catcher is looking to a manager or a bench coach to see if they've picked something up from the opposing team side. The catcher doesn't have time himself to look down to third, but there are guys in the big leagues who have made an art form out of stealing signs from the opposing third base coach, and if they catch something, they'll relay it to a catcher for a pitch out or a throw to first.
Rich, and to that point, I think it's a disservice to young catchers who nowadays, there are kids who are catching in high school and then even at the collegiate level who've never called a game because the games are called by the high school coach or the college coach. And it's a disservice to those young kids who go on and play professional baseball to then all of a sudden have to learn how to call a game.
Hot smash, Bohr gets it and gets the out. Latos over to get it. Don't you see that more? The college game especially, it seems like catchers don't get a chance to call the game a lot.
No, and I think, number one, that's one of the reasons college games last longer, because there's a transition there with the catcher constantly looking into the dugout. And then if he turns professional, all of a sudden he's going to have to learn to call games.
But you know what? Very good question from Cooper City. Dylan, thanks for watching. Hopefully we answered it for you. Yeah, Yadier Molina is probably one of the best, considered the best game caller and handler of pitchers in the big leagues. And so no one's going to call Yadi's game. Yadi will be calling it himself. Yasmani Tomas. Baseball's such an international sport. A viewer tonight in Finland. 6 a.m. in Finland. Truly late night with the Fish. Seen about 80 Marlin games this year. Staying up tonight. We'll see how this one turns out. Tomas pulls it foul. I really don't have anything to ask. Just want to say hi. Keep up the good work. Have you ever received a tweet or an email from Finland before? So Tommy, or the I don't have a name on this, but it's from Finland. I don't think we've ever had something from Finland. A lot from Holland, England. Tomas swings and misses.
Boy, great combination of pitches Latos threw to Tomas.
6 strikeouts for Matt Latos, who is shutting out the Diamondbacks in Phoenix.
2-0 lead. It is also a Twitter and email Tuesday, our special hashtag tonight, Late Night with the Fish. So we want to know how all of you fans out there are spending your evening. We got this tweet from Steve, who said he's watching the game with Giancarlo Stanton. So, Steve, we hope that you are enjoying this game so far. Tell Giancarlo that we said, hey, keep those tweets and emails coming. Your tweets can go to @FoxMarlins. Send your tweets to foxmarlins@gmail.com. Guys?
Cold drink like that seems like a good idea here. Maybe out in the pool. Still over 100 degrees last time we checked outside. Tim Grubbs, our connection in New Orleans, the voice of the Marlins AAA affiliate, the Zephyrs, sent a note in that they had a game start with a heat index of 115. Do they sell Hurricanes? I mean, the drink at Zephyr games in the ballpark? I mean, you certainly can get it down in New Orleans. The French Quarter. Morse fouls that one back.
We'll have to check with Tim on that. A couple of fastballs that Michael Morse has fouled back. It's interesting. He's used his changeup, curveball, a lot of that to get Justin Bour. He's worked fastballs to Michael Morse, maybe to set up a curveball, maybe to go back with that fastball. Looks like he wants it up. So Wellington Castillo give a little motion with that glove, giving that fastball up.
Michael Stites, formerly of REM, now in the bullpen.
I think we had a couple of musical groups in our hotel, Rich.
That's right.
Saw some tour buses, I believe. Earth, Wind and Fire and Chicago were in concert. They're actually playing tonight.
Larry David's favorite group, Chicago.
That's right.
To right, hit well. Back goes Tomas, looking up. It's gone. Opposite field. Michael Morse goes out to right. And Miami's lead is now 2-0.
Boy, that is something not only needed for the ball club, but needed for Michael Morse. He got that fastball. His last home run was also opposite field at Fenway Park. But Hellickson tried to run that fastball again in on him. This time Michael Morse was ready for it.
Derek Dietrich now.
Everybody likes homers.
So it's 2-0 here in the 7th. We had a discussion earlier, and here's a look. Warren Henry driving the game.
Boy, that fastball was driven in a hurry.
Great play.
Got over the head of Yasmani Tomas quickly.
Great play by the fan reaching over. All of Michael Morse's homers on the road this year. Remember, we had that tweet about a robot umpire with Foxtrax technology, strike zone technology. Would you be a fan of a robot or a automatic strike zone with that technology? Out to second. Dietrich is out. Ted tweets in, if Major League Baseball does go to a robot umpire or strike zone by computer, they need to implement the audio of Jim Joyce as that strike.
I might go along with that.
See, if the robot could spit out Jim Joyce's strike call.
Yeah, give it that. Hi.
There you go. See, now you're warming up to the idea.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's Real Muto. Big double for Real Muto with 2 outs in the 5th, and he scored on the Danny Echeverria single. And we have been told that, yes, they do sell Hurricane at Zephyr Stadium at the Zephyr ball games. You can't get that authentic drink of the South, so to speak. Well, of New Orleans.
Nope,
A Mardi Gras. Do they sell beads?
Does that come with a beaded necklace?
There's a joke in there involving Casey McGee, but I'm not going there. Here's the 1-1. Liner to right field. Realmuto, and it hangs up for Tomas, who makes the catch.
We talked about it last night, be it Tomas in right field, Inciarte, of course, Pollock in center, Peralta. It's a very good defensive outfield here in Arizona. And they have a lot of ground to cover. You need to have that kind of defense in this outfield.
Now Echeverria. And Etch takes in.
There's no doubter here.
Lamb gets to it, and Echeverria is out. Jeremy Hellickson hasn't made too many mistakes tonight. This is really not a mistake. Michael Morse takes a pitch on the outside part and drills it out opposite field. Seven. Christian Yelich is in left field. Cole Gillespie is in center. So Michael Morse comes out. Staying in and in complete control right now is Matt Latos. And this is fun to watch. This is the Matt Latos that the Marlins envisioned. The Matt Latos that the Marlins have seen. Wasn't completely healthy last year in Cincinnati, but the run-up years in Cincinnati, of course, his first run in San Diego, he looked like he does tonight. Speaking of Petco Park and San Diego, it's a Saturday spectacular, and it's at Marlins Park. Salt and Pepper, Tommy Hutton, on Colombian Heritage Night, August 1st. All-you-can-eat seats, just $35. Salt and Pepper, hip-hop legends, presented by Lexus. Jake Lamb takes down low.
It's been a really good pitch count for Latos. Matt Latos with that pitch, 75 on the game, so he's been able to manage things really well.
Rich has a email. This is not me. This is a guy named Rich. Tommy, the appropriate word is mechanized.
I'll buy that.
Backhand stop. Bohr flips. Latos is there. Those two working well together.
Probably easier to spell too than mechanicalize.
Shin-Soo Choo has hit for the cycle tonight. He got a triple in the 9th inning. Texas is beating Colorado 9-0. It's amazing. It's the 9th cycle in Rangers history. The Marlins have never had anyone hit for the cycle. And of course, the Fish are headed to San Diego, a place where the Padres have never had anyone throw a no-hitter. The Marlins have had plenty of those. I think if you're going to choose between the two, you choose the no-hitter, though.
And the Rangers at Coors Field, certainly a friendly field for cycles. The Rockies have hit for the cycle a lot. I think Todd Helton hit for the cycle against the Marlins.
Padres don't have a cycle. No cycle. No no-hitter. Oh, doctor. Miss seeing Jerry Coleman when we go in there. Wellington Castillo's up. And Latos out in front 0-2. Woo! Strikeout and then a greeting for JT Realmuto on the backswing. Little pop in the helmet. Realmuto's fine. And Latos' 7th strikeout.
Boy, he has worked fastballs, then that big curveball. Look at the distance this curveball. It starts at the letters and ends up at the ankles and gets Tomas to chase it. And all is well with JT Realmuto.
Amazing. Not a stressful inning in the bunch. Nick Ahmed up right now. Robert in Palm Bay, Florida. I am in a multi-season email slump. I've been sending one email forever. And I've only had one read on air, and that was several seasons ago. What do I have to do to end this slump? Baseball slang, slump buster.
Yep, you need a slump buster.
You need a slump buster. Is what you need, Robert. Perhaps I ask two technical related questions instead of feel good human interest ones. And by the way, Robert feels the umpires union will never allow electronic equipment to call balls and strikes. Major League Baseball, very union oriented. But as we know, Robert, I inject it can be bargained in the next agreement. So, but probably another 20 years. And when Latos is locating that fastball with that delivery, that over-the-top delivery, he is really hard to hit.
This has been outstanding performance tonight from Matt Latos. Just his 2nd start this month. Remember, he took that foul ball that zoomed into the dugout off the foot.
Chopper to short. Echeverria charging, throwing, getting the runner at first. And Matt Latos is cruising. He's retired 7 straight, 7 shutout innings, 2-0.
Yeah, we love to show you a little small ball, then a little big ball. The small ball started with a double from Real Muto. He alertly steals third, and then Echeverria, a base hit, right back up the middle, just like that, a 1-0 Marlins lead. That whole team with 2 outs. Then in the 7th inning, with 2 strikes on him, Hellickson tried to come inside, missed a little bit, and boy, was Michael Morse ready for it. His 4th home run of the year, putting the Marlins up by 2.
Matt Latos is out. Miguel Rojas getting set to pinch hit to open up this 8th inning. Matt Stites into the game, and look at Stites. This just his 3rd relief appearance this year. Rojas, Ichiro, Martin Prado, Carter Capps is up in Miami's bullpen. No doubt for the bottom of the 8th. Rojas had a couple hits in Philly on that awful day in terms of heat and humidity, and he pulls one foul. He came out of the ball game. He was lightheaded during the game, and when he got to first base, the Marlins could see from their dugout that he was having trouble breathing, and he was taken to the clubhouse and tended to. Hits it hard again. Boy, he saw the ball well, those 2 pitches, because he cranks that one into left field.
Yeah, good aggressive approach by Rojas. Didn't waste any time. Saw a couple of good pitches to rip at. One he pulled foul. This time the breaking ball just kind of hangs middle of the plate, and he bangs that one into left field. Let's see how the Marlins play this with nobody out. Ichiro at the plate.
Ichiro, an 0 for 3 tonight. He's hit in 7 straight games. Capps is ready. Stites, the University of Missouri product. Ichiro, a soft grounder to short. Out there, and the turn not nearly in time. Owings on the turn. Ichiro resides at first, and there's 1 out. Tomorrow's starters, and this is going to be a fun one in the desert. Jose Fernandez makes start number 4. 2-0 with a 2.37 ERA. Robbie Ray goes for Arizona. Chevron bringing you the starters. Now Prado with 1 out.
Maybe not on the first pitch, but this is a situation in this at bat. You could look for a hit and run with Ichiro at first. Prado, his good bat control at the plate.
Ichiro is the active leader in stolen bases. And he's chased back with a throw. 495 in his career. Alex wants to know, can you explain taking out Matt Latos? 84 pitches and rolling along.
Well, part of it, we talked about the fact that his last start was July 5th.
He's been out with an injury. It wasn't really able to throw while that toe was healing. All-Star break, and now he gets a start here. So you certainly don't want to put him in any situation where he could overextend himself. 84 pitches, 7 strikeouts. Alex, thanks for your tweet. Prado pulls it foul. The Marlins are a long way from the postseason. But Fish Fan for Life wants to know, will you guys jump in the Clevelander pool the day the Marlins finally clinch another postseason spot? Absolutely. In fact, if we need any help, we'll call our good friend Cookie Rojas. And he can
give us tips.
Give us tips, because Cookie, when he played in Kansas City, the Royals had never been in the postseason, made a promise along with Freddie Patek, his double play partner, that they would jump in the fountains if the Royals finally got to the postseason. Time called. And if you go online and you Google Cookie Rojas, Freddie Patek, and Kansas City fountains, you'll see some great black and white still photos of Patek and Cookie walking on the top of the left field wall, both on their way in and on their way out of the fountains in Kansas City when the Royals in the 70s finally got to the postseason. Pitch in the dirt. It's 1-2.
Of course, it's kind of a ticklish subject here. Remember the Dodgers clinching a big game, and the Dodgers afterwards celebrated. They felt they waited enough time before they went out there, but the Dodgers celebrated by jumping in the Diamondbacks pool.
So what would you do if you were a team and you clinched at Dodger Stadium and you wanted to get the Dodgers back? Where would you go? Would you raid the Dodger Dogs? Would you go out and party in the express lane leading out into LA traffic?
That could take forever. Would you jam up the 76 Union Station out in left center field?
I think you'd probably go out and maybe let the air out of Vin Scully's tires. That really would be low.
Yeah, that gets it right there.
Yeah, I don't know that Vin Scully actually drives to and from the game. I think he's got a car service that picks him up. Don't you?
I would hope so.
Prado fouling that pitch off his foot. Yeesh. Since we have a moment, a little T-Mobile. Remember, you can tweet in your photo, not of you and Tommy Hutton, but of your strongest fan photo. Hashtag FL Data Strong. There you go. A little D. Gordon. Prado. Each row still at first. And the count evens at 2-2. So we ended Robert's slump. He was in a multi-season email slump. He's got to be happy about that.
Feels good about it. He wants to extend, have a streak now. Once you end the slump, you want to continue.
He had a lot of tweets with people watching the game, man caves, pajamas, stuff like that. Although Joy Taylor has not sent in any pajama photos.
Okay, this is where you have to know the game. And I'm sorry, Andrea, for getting on you a little bit here, but I'm not happy with Jennings' decision to sit Morse after he just hit a home run. Michael Morse hasn't played a whole lot of left field. This is a huge, spacious outfield. You have a 2-0 lead. You make the change and get your defense out there. Any manager in baseball would do the same thing. So there.
This blood pressure reading of Tommy Hutton is brought to you by the Cleveland Clinic Florida. Runner goes, ground ball, diving stop by Lamb on his feet, and he gets the out. Boy, Prado's been robbed twice over there, hasn't he? 2 hot shots after an agonizing at bat when she banged one off his foot. All Prado has to show for it is a 5-3 in the books.
Yeah, he's, as they said, played pepper with third base. 5-3, 3 times in the scorebook for Prado, but a couple of those balls have been hit really hard.
don't think that's a good idea? We get one of the local hospitals to
sponsor
Tommy's blood pressure. And fans, if you get Tommy's blood pressure up over 130,
have the little meter going.
It'll be cheeseburgers for everybody. West Kendall Toyota, call it to the bullpen. No relation to Chad. Cliff is in. He'll play shortstop, and a double switch. It will also include Andrew Chafin coming in.
Yeah, Chip Hale making the move. He wants the left-hander. Chafin throwing to the left-handed hitting Christian Yelich. Yelich last 2 times up, he's lined out to right field, and then lined a single into left center in the 6th inning. So a couple of good swings his last 2 ABs.
Yelich now, Ichiro at second, 2 outs. And the nice thing about Yelich, as we've seen in his young career, in this spot, a lot of managers will go lefty on lefty action, and Yelich hits lefties quite well. Well over 300 against lefties last year. Little looper, left field. Peralta in. He won't get it. Around third, Ichiro will score. And Christian Yelich has his 2nd hit of the night. An RBI single. And it's 3-0.
We talked about it last night. Yelich was able to get a base hit off Oliver Perez. And you mentioned last year over 300 against lefties. Early in the season, he was well under 200. All of a sudden, that average now against left-handers, I would guess, is around 270.
So with a couple hits tonight, the hit streak for Yelich is stretched out. And now here comes Casey McGee. He'll hit for Bohr. You've got the lefty on the mound. A right-hander is in Arizona's bullpen. Let's see if Chip Hale will come out and make the move. It looks like Wellington Castillo's buying time. Here comes Hale. He'll make the change. And so McGee will face the right-hander. The Marlins with a nice insurance run there. Christian Yelich with an RBI hit. West Kendall Toyota called to the pen again. sure you stay tuned after the game. Catch Marlins Live postgame presented by Checkers. Jessica Blaylock from the field. Florida boys deliver. Matt Latos, one of those guys. Michael Morse the other. Morse a homer to right. Latos 7 shutout innings. Casey McGee now, and it's Randall Delgado, the right-hander, out of the pen for Arizona. Christian Yelich, a threat to run at first. And he goes, pitches low, throw down to second. Safe. Yelich just got the hand in there.
It was a good play by Castillo. 9 stolen bases now for Yelich. The throw, he had to backhand the pitch to the plate, and he came up and made a really good throw to second base. Look at that. Backhand down, he comes up and fires. Made that a lot closer than it could have been.
So McGee sitting on a 1-0 pitch. Casey fouls it at the plate. Randall Delgado, 2.93 ERA. This is his 39th appearance.
Diamondbacks brought in another pitcher, made a move today. Right-hander Dominic Leone joining the ball club. Outfielder Danny Dorn sent back to AAA.
Delgado came to the Diamondbacks in the trade that brought Martin Prado from the Braves to the Diamondbacks. Nick Ahmed as well. That was the Justin Upton trade. Chris Johnson was a throw-in in that trade. It worked out pretty well for a few years for the Braves. McGee's check swing, and the count's 2-2.
Casey McGee 1 for 3 as a Marlin off the bench as a pinch hitter.
Yelich in scoring position, a run across. And a flare that's going to end up fouling out a play. Impressive that as the hour has passed midnight back home, the tweets and emails are still flowing freely, as are the opinions, which is what makes email and Twitter Tuesday so much fun. You can still get him in under the wire. Full count. Got Cole Gillespie, remember, who came in Morse's spot. Much to Andrea's dismay. And I have to go bat for Andrea. She's a fan of the show.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
And McGee walks. So Casey walks. It'll give Gillespie an at-bat.
That's the first walk issued in this game by the Diamondbacks. Hellickson in his 7 innings gave up 2 runs. Didn't walk the batter, struck out 6.
On nights where we have emails and tweets, it's hard really to gauge what's going on in Major League Baseball because we've got our hands full with this game and the emails and the tweets. Rays right-hander Nathan Carnes homered in his. He homered in Aaron Nola's big league debut. So the Rays pitcher homered against Aaron Nola. The first pitch fastball. And the final score was 1-0. Gillespie pops it up back behind the mound. And it's Pennington who makes the catch. Marlins add a run. And they turn it over to the back end of the bullpen. This job by Christian Yelich, 3-0 Miami. Miami. Marlins on top. So you got McGee at first. We go Rojas is at second base. And it's been a while since he was up and heated up and ready to come in. But Carter Capps stayed up, didn't burn himself out, and is ready to go.
Boy, all you have to do is look at those numbers. The ERA, the strikeouts to walks. 50 strikeouts in 26 in the third. It's almost 2 per inning. And just 6 walks for Carter Capps.
Cliff Pennington, A.J. Pollock, Chris Owings, 9-1-2 for the Diamondbacks against Capps. His fastball misses away. The Mets, believe it or not, are now 2 games back of the Nationals. They beat the Nationals 7-2 tonight.
Another Jacob deGrom game.
It was, but Joe Ross actually pitched well for the Nationals until the 7th inning. And that's when the Mets struck. deGrom has won 10. And he retired 9 of the first 10 he faced.
Martin Prado moves over from second to third. Remember, Rojas pinch hit. He stays in the game at second base. Casey McGee pinch hit. He's at first.
.99 miles an hour. Good live fastball and a strikeout, and that's what Capps does best.
Boy, that one spotted, plus had a little movement to it. Man.
Now Pollock, couple hits for the All-Star. He's 2 for 3. Ball and a strike. Jose Fernandez start tomorrow night. Marlins after the game will be headed out of town. Not very far, just across the desert, over the hills, and into San Diego. Slider crunched left field. Back goes Yelich to make the catch on the track.
And that is why you make those defensive moves. Get Yelich from center to left. Michael Morse out. You want your best defense in there in a big outfield when you have a lead.
2 outs. And here comes Owings. Latino Loco tweets, I don't think I can sleep after this game ends. Any ideas on what to watch on Netflix? Well, I don't know, does Netflix have the new season of Ray Donovan on yet?
I don't think it's on Netflix, but yeah, Ray Donovan's great. I just watched a great documentary, Searching for Sugar Man.
There you go.
That'd be a suggestion if you like a little music.
Searching for Sugar Man. I've seen it. It's good. I recommend it. 5. How many thumbs up do you need for?
Oh, as many as you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, 5 thumbs. Here's the 0-2.
Or you could YouTube the compilation of Domingo Ayala at his best.
That's right.
Baseball tips.
The Tommy Hutton Baseball Academy has a new West Coast affiliate, and that is Domingo Baseball. And it's run by baseball coach extraordinaire Domingo Ayala. Breaking ball, good one. Slider, caps, strikes out Owings. Carter caps 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of the 8th. That means the top of the 9th. 3-0 Miami. Park. There's no television on Thursday. We apologize for that. It's one of the few games that we will not televise here on Fox Sports or the family of Fox Sports stations. But Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Marlins and Padres. Check the local listing. Justin Upton and the New Look Padres. Late night with the Fish. Emails and tweets, and tip of the cap to everybody that's participated. We've had really quality stuff. Some angry, some funny. Tommy's laughed. He's cried. He's run the gamut.
Yeah, I have. Josh Colmanter has too. He's gone from a starter to a middleman to pitching here in the 9th inning for Arizona.
And this, sad to say, is the last Late Night with the Fish on an email Twitter Tuesday, barring extra innings someplace. Josh Collmenter, the opening day starter.
Wow.
For the Diamondbacks.
So he has run the gamut. Blair has a nice tweet in reference to Carter Capps. Blair says every time we hear an opposing broadcast, they criticize Carter Capps' hop and they call it illegal. Well, they're just not doing their homework because it has been deemed by Major League Baseball as legal. And why are you listening to opposing broadcasts?
Well, you never know. You might be on a city where the Marlins, say you're in St. Louis and the Cardinals are playing the Marlins. You can't get Fox Sports Florida.
That's true.
Maybe you're up in New York. 2-1 pitch. Donovan Solano, left center field. That ball's well hit. Peralta track makes the catch.
I'm actually feeling a little bad, Rich, because Andrea retweeted. She said, I don't care. I'm not pretending to be an expert. I can express my opinion. And that's true. You can. I'm just trying to help you in your baseball knowledge.
Maybe a more calm demeanor would be more helpful.
I'll try better next time.
I stuck up for Andrea too. And
I know you did.
JT Realmuto is 1 for 3. It's doubled, lined out. That one fouled out of play.
So hopefully I've made maybe just a little amends with Andrea.
Marcus wants to know what's the name of the Late Night with the Fish song. He thinks Smoking Jacket would be appropriate for it. Or maybe a Late Night Crevassier. Lined into right. That's a base hit for JT Realmuto.
Boy, the growth just continues with JT Realmuto. His handling of pitchers, his awareness on the field, base hits. Remember the last time he was able to get over to third base, stole third after a double.
You know, it's one of the real mysteries in the industry is the Late Night with the Fish music. We cannot use copyrighted music, so you have to find obscure stuff, original stuff. And we unearthed that long ago, and the title has long since been lost. That's a bunt, and a good one, and Echeverria's got himself a hit. Wellington Castillo, the Diamondbacks catcher, lost that bunt. Watch Castillo react to the bunt.
Because it's popped high in the air, and he doesn't pick that up right away. It had some nice little bite to it and landed softly and stayed fair. Watch how this ball just lands. Nice little 60-degree wedge.
Third bunt hit for Echeverria. Here is Rojas, who singled back in the 8th. Anyways, there is no title to that song. We can't find out. I mean, right now, the experts, the crack staff, have been able to figure out where they got the song from. People have tried to Shazam it, you know, the popular app that identifies music. And Shazam just spits out a big question mark.
Shazam spits out Late Night with the Fish.
That's right. And not that late night commercial that the tweeter referenced earlier in the telecast. Realmuto at second. Echeverria at first. Comenter spins, got him picked off, throws, and gets him. So Realmuto picked, and that's the second out of the inning.
Good reactions by a veteran. Josh Comenter is that. He doesn't panic with the spin move, and then he runs a little bit toward Realmuto and made a perfect throw to second base. So that time, JT just got caught.
Rojas steps out. So it's a 3-0 Marlin lead. It's the 9th, and there's 2 outs. Diamondbacks will have some big bats up. Goldschmidt, Peralta, there's Manny Tomas. Goldschmidt holding on Echeverria. That one came off the end of the bat. Jose Fernandez start tomorrow night.
That's one you don't want to miss.
Marlins will be facing a lefty in Robbie Ray. Ray's made 9 starts and has an ERA in the low 2s. Little by little, Rojas is getting it closer to fair territory. Diamondbacks much improved from last year, got themselves to 500 and then dropped 6 straight. And then last night they beat the Marlins to snap that losing skid. Remember, the Phillies beat the Marlins first game of their series, and that snapped a 5-game losing streak. We talked about that Phillies loss tonight. Aaron Nola made his major league debut, one of the top Phillies prospects. Pitched well, but gave up a home run. And that was it. A solo homer. Runner goes, pitches in, and Rojas walks. Nathan Carnes, his first major league hit, pitcher for the Rays, was a home run. Nola would go 6 innings, 5 hits, a run, struck out 6. Carnes, 5 innings, didn't give up a run, 3 hits, and lots of bullpen help for the Rays. The Mets, as we told you, 7-2, beat the Nationals. The Mets are 2 games behind the Nationals. Jacob deGrom, 10-6 with a 2.18 ERA.
Will the Mets go out and get a bat?
Well, you would think they would. I mean, they're right there. Marlins have the Padres on Thursday in San Diego. They're getting shut out and 1 hit by the Giants. 9-0. San Francisco on top. And that's Chris Heston. Remember the guy that threw a no-hitter?
Threw the no-hitter.
He's throwing a 1-hit shutout in the 8th inning right now with 6 strikeouts. Ichiro takes a strike. Now Ichiro in the ball game An 0 for 4. Scored a run after getting on a fielder's choice. Braves beat the Dodgers 4-3. A.J. Ramos ready in Miami's bullpen. Ichiro somehow fights that one off. Count 1-2.
Ichiro somehow hits pitches that you wonder how he hits.
He is famous around baseball for his stretching routines. Maybe the most flexible player in the game, and he's 41. I don't know if they have a Japanese equivalent of twister, but he probably would.
He would be very good at that.
Dominate that. On a hop, Lamb, and he got him at first. Nice pick by Goldschmidt. A.J. Ramos enters. He's got a 3-run lead to protect, and the Marlins try to snap this 4-game losing streak when we get back. South Florida Honda dealers. By Florida Coast Equipment, Florida's largest Kubota dealer. Visit us at FloridaCoastEQ.com. And by Coral Springs Auto Mall, across the street from the Coral Square Mall. We'll make it easy. Chase Field all lit up in the Phoenix night. A.J. Ramos comes in. Last time the Marlins and A.J. Ramos were on in the ninth. Jeff Francoeur blasting one to left. Second blown save since being named closer, and they both were walk-off home runs.
Yeah, the Edwin Encarnacion home run in Toronto, and the other day in Philadelphia. So I think it's important for A.J., and he probably wanted to get back out there as soon as possible as well. But the numbers still have been terrific since he's taken over that closer role.
High pop. Rojas is out. And he makes the catch. One pitch, one out. Sometimes it's that easy. And now here's Peralta with Tomas to follow. Any final emails or tweets to throw into the show here? A lot of people wanting to know, like Steve on Twitter, will Dee Gordon and Giancarlo pass through Jupiter in their rehab? Not sure yet, but Stanton was swinging a bat yesterday. The news on Dee Gordon was really good.
Yes, it was.
Dan Jennings actually got to see some video of Gordon swinging the bat, and he looked very, very good. So the Marlins are hopeful that both those guys are back soon.
Yeah, I think when Dee's eligible to come off the disabled list, it's right when the Marlins return home in that series against Washington. I believe by then he'll be eligible.
Bouncer to center field. David Peralta singles. And here comes Tomas. Strong like bull. Yasmani Tomas.
No, the guy who's been strong like bull lately has been Albert Pujols. Wow. 3 home runs and a doubleheader yesterday for the Angels. Surpassed Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt. Pujols with his 549th home run.
Pujols tonight is 1 for 3. That one was not a home run. But the Angels enjoying themselves and staying hot. 12 over and about to get to 13 over. They're shutting out the Twins 7-0 in the bottom of the 7th in Anaheim.
Good breaking ball there by AJ. Another one.
And down goes Tomas. So Ramos gets the second out. Here comes Jake Lamb.
Get a hitter chase one so badly the pitch before, you go right back there again. And Tomas chased both of them.
Runner goes, and down to second, Peralta. No stolen base. Lamb, who had a couple of hits last night, and 0 for 3 tonight. This game approaching 3 hours. A 3-0 Marlin lead. That's wide at first. McGee collects it. So Arizona down to their last strike. That is strike 3 called. Ramos saves it. Matt Latos wins it. Terrific night for Latos. 7 shutout innings. Carter Capps holds it. Christian Yelich. A nice night. Couple hits and an RBI.